Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play LOTRO with me and Benji,
Hey.
who is not in fellowship, but we need to be separate in a minute, don't we? So
Yeah.
I'll stay out then. Right, so we're still in Lanark in Edinburgh, the capital city, and we've got a few more quests to hand in around here, and we also need to carry on with the epic story. So talk to Noda.
I am proud of the warrior Wadu became.
What is it you want? Nona laughs, a harsh and humorless sound. Concern? Do not be concerned for me. I was lost after the death of my brother, but that was before I learned of the glory he had attained before his death. Those who slew him were right to do so from hiding. They must have been able to sense that he had become a great warrior and would have bested them. There was a tree Wadu loved, atop a rise by the Oxpens west of Lanark. I left his sword there to honour his memory. But I think he would rather I used it to attain even half the glory with it he did. Go to the tree and bring me this sword. So at least I managed to go over the whole of that and keep it vaguely in the same kind of accent.
Yeah.
As opposed to like
It has
wildly
an
shifting
accent.
between like Russian and
Yeah, I'm not sure what the accent was meant to be, but it was an accent.
well, I've probably mentioned this before in the previous videos, but the Dunlendings and that are, at least in game, meant to be like representative of like Welsh culture.
Yeah, that wasn't Welsh.
So hence the double L of Lanark. Right, so we've got a load of quests from where we're in this before we have to hand in.
As long as the sun shines, you are welcome here.
So we had to kill the half orcs. We had to
Leave me to Bunyad.
search all the farmsteads.
The farms, yeah. And then there's a couple of big bosses. Well, one big boss on one of the farmsteads we had to kill.
What is
Yeah,
your
Chloe and Amberu didn't make it, unfortunately.
No.
So some stuff that was on the
What is
half
your
orcs
purpose here,
and
Dunlending?
I can't remember what the last one was. So I'm now known to the Algreg. So we've basically done like a quest for each of the lieutenants, so they kind of trust us a little bit better now. And now we start the Council of Brehur. We have to try and convince them not to join Isengard.
Gathers even now to decide whether to join their brethren to the south in allegiance to Isengard. But they are a proud, isolated people who will not bend easily, even when threatened by the power of the traitor Saruman.
Greetings. Will you remain here long?
The council is prepared to gather now, Holobrand. I do not know what will transpire, but rumours continue to be bandied about. I have spoken with many of the Brehur of late. Please remain in the hall during deliberations, should one of them wish to call upon you for testimony. So we watch this council meeting. Let the Council of Brehur now gather to discuss the offer of treaty proposed by Isengard in the name of Saruman the White. I call now forth Gwilum, emissary of Isengard, to speak on behalf of Isengard. I don't know what his accent's going to be. What is he? He's just a man.
I'm not sure.
I am Gwilum, emissary of Isengard. I come bearing the honour of goodwill of Saruman in the form of a most generous offer from the Grand Tower of Orthanc, jewel of Isengard. Greetings, Gwilum. Let us hear what Isengard has to say this eve and weigh its portent in the council. Let all present bear witness as Isengard offers its sovereign protection to the peoples of Edidwaith. Moreover, we offer pacts of trade and commerce that shall enrich the folk of this isolated country. What was once known as the Great North Road shall be rebuilt in anticipation of such trade. I don't think Saruman wants to trade much, though. It shall reconnect your people with their brethren in the main of Dunland, who have already wisely chosen to offer their allegiance to Saruman. In regards to that barbarous forces besetting this tranquil region, Isengard extends its strong arm. We shall thwart any aggressor, though they ride from the south under the banner of the Horse Lords, or infiltrate from the north through the devices of the Dunedain, who have long harboured the will to conquer and rule all the west. We are beset with many evils of late, Gwilum, against which we are hard-pressed to defend. Some would grasp at you what you offer without ken of the price, but we have little to give, and so the price may prove more than we can afford. What is it that Isengard would ask of us? Saruman asks in return that the Brennan of Lanark accept the sovereignty of Isengard over this realm, extending in the main to matters of trade beyond its borders, to control of the Great North Road, and levy of troops and materials for the common defence of all Dunland. All other matters... Oh no, sorry, wrong accent. All other matters shall remain the province of the Brennan and his council, so long as they do not conflict with the greater good of our people. Who cares for your roads or your caravans? Few enough of the peddlers and bards who disturb our doorstep, much less the merchants of the south. Build it if you wish. I do not think many will come to so poor a price. A road may change many things nearin. The world Saruman envisions still shall have great many roads, and much industry to move upon them. Ha! How wizard's fantasy, if ever I heard one. No matter. The road is there. Let Saruman rebuild it if he wishes. This matter of a levy, however, is no small thing. We are no great empire to spend our sons on the far battlefields, and count not their loss, nor are our cattle cheaply given to feed soldiers who march in distant kingdoms. Nor would we ask you to give them cheaply, yet war is stirring. The horse lords are of divided purpose, though their king may yet see wisdom and sign a pact with Isengard. Still, rumour now whispers that the king's own son plans his overthrow, as he burns with desire to bring war across the Isen. Should this come to pass, we will need all our strength to halt them, lest we lose these lands, even as you once lost the flowing plains of Rohan to their brutal aggression. This news is disturbing, Gwillem. I will send aid to our brothers in the south against the horse folk, but we are beset ourselves. If Isengard can relieve us, then we may be willing to put aside the price of our people for the sake of such an alliance. I believe they can be dealt with swiftly. Such rabble as threatens your land... Oh, wrong accent again! Ah! I believe they can be dealt with swiftly. Such rabble as threatens your land is of no great importance. No great moment before the strength of Isengard. I wager the mere announcement of our pact will be enough to frighten such brigands from your land, lest they face Saruman's wrath. I would join your wager, for what brigand or soldier would dare disobey the orders of his master in such a matter? Of course, the forces of Isengard are as loyal as may be to the word of Saruman. But I do not... Oh, folks, I'm falling so far behind in this, it's ridiculous. But I do not like the tone of your voice, Brehurs. You employ more than you say. I speak of what many here suspect, Gwillem. These are not mere simple brigands and wolves that beset our lands of late. They wield blades forged in great number. They fight like soldiers. The wargs slaughter man and beast alike, yet take no carcass. Perhaps you face mercenaries then, sent by the decrepit lords of the west, who look upon your lands greedily. For if you... For if you mean otherwise, I think you must choose your next words carefully. The problem is everyone's name begins with a G. Then let me speak clearly, lest you mishear my words. For I choose to call them raiders, sent from the mountains north of Isengard to force a hand in this very council, and I say that they come at the behest of Saruman himself. You claim that Isengard has sent brigands hither? How could you make such claim against he who leads the Order of the Wizards? He who watched over these lands for years beyond ken, like a father might his children. Indeed, your words are disturbing, Gullidas, and most grave. Have you some proof of your claim? I do, Brennan. Hollybrand, would you bring forth the evidence you have found upon the battlefield? Thank fuck, I've caught up. Right. So we now need to interact with the stone pedestals and see the various things that we found on the things we killed last time. Oh no, we're putting the things on the pedestal. So we've got the blades and the helms. These were found upon the half-orcs who lead the raiders just a short while ago. They were claimed in battle by Hollybrand. And you claim these are from Isengard? That Saruman the Wise has set forces against his own people? This is madness, Brennan. No, this is Sparta. No, Saruman offers peace to all his subjects. You speak overly hasty, emissary, for we are not subjects of Isengard yet. We have heard rumour of similar half-orcs who have come into the employ of Isengard to the south of late. Isengard has made many powerful alliances to ensure our prosperity, even with those who have long been isolated and hounded by powers of the West, but many are not so allied. Why direct your slander against Saruman, who has been so fair with his offer? I do not wish to offend the emissary of Isengard, but this is no small charge the Brehurs levies against your claim of goodwill. We are all most keen to hear your reply. My Lord Brennan, I beg you not to forsake our alliance, upon the word of this Devodiad. These Northerners creep out the wilderness, seeking out weakness, separating friend from friend, so that they may take each in turn like wolves amongst the sheep. What of my counsel, then? We cannot be certain of the evidence placed before us. We have but the word of a Devodiad against the word of Saruman, who, strictly speaking, is also a Devodiad, in a matter most dangerous. I have seen this Northerner fight on behalf of our people, and to my heart deeds speak unfailingly. I cannot place my trust in this emissary who has nothing but words for us. I wish nothing more than to join my countrymen to the south in battle against the horse folk. But I cannot honourably fight beneath the banner of Saruman after he has wronged our people in so cowardly a fashion. I think it best if we see to our own herds, Brennan. I trust none of those before me, whether they claim their allegiance, for none of them mean well for us to my mind. Let them fight their wars elsewhere. Already you know my mind, Brennan. Saruman does not ask, he takes. This entire ploy of his is his imagining, and I will take not part in it. ... I can hear in your tones that this matter has been most wrongfully decided. The Devodiad has poisoned your ears against the wisdom of Saruman. And whose wisdom is it that has led us to this emissary? This council has deemed your words false. I cannot gainsay them. What offer can you make us now that we must not reject? Your view of this matter is rather unfortunate, Glim Brennan, but I do not see how our situation has changed in the slightest. Let us say that we simply understand each other more clearly now. Isengard still requires your allegiance, and in return Saruman offers his most gracious protection. Though it does seem that we shall have to modify our terms slightly to reflect this new understanding we have come to. However, should you refuse them, I can assure you that Isengard's next offer shall be far less lenient. It will not likely be decided upon in this rather quaint little council chamber. There is no need for further threats, Thrall of Isengard. I think that Saruman's purpose is clear to me now, as his arrogance has grown with his power. Perhaps our countrymen of Dunlending were beguiled, but I see that he moves too surely now, believing that none will dare to deny him. And yet he shows his hand too early, for in sending such a force as he has, I think he must be occupied elsewhere, or his initial offer would have been the more forceful one. We shall hold here, for your accomplices will soon be called to the south to face the horse folk. That much of your story I believe, as Saruman's lust for conquest betrays his intent. But I no longer believe in his strength. Only his words have power. Whereas others have met of late, that have shown us the strength of their deeds, and that this is truly the only thing of value in this world. Go fight your war, emissary, but I do not think you will return. For all their villainy, the horse folk have always been a people of deeds, and I foresee the downfall of Saruman's deceitful schemes at their hands. You are a fool, Glenbrennan! The power of Isengard is greater than you imagine, and there are other powers that rise in, in alliance with it, of which you know nothing. But let me show you one last thing. Observe the fate of those who would defy the will of Isengard. Horbrand shall pay for the besmirching the honour of my lord Saruman. You have roused the anger of Isengard, little one, and you shall pay for your insolence in blood.
So I can finally actually stop talking and murder something. Because my throat is giving up now.
Yeah, I can hear it.
This accent, it's kind of like, it's like African meets Russian. Which I probably just offended 2 groups of people with that, but whatever. It's like not Welsh in the slightest.
Yeah, do you know what I realised? We should have done is split it into parts. Should have gave me 2 of the characters or something.
We've got more talking now. Har! If that is the power that Isengard wished us to see, then we shall count ourselves lucky that we have not made alliance with weaklings. I think it best if you go now, emissary of Isengard. You have too long outstayed your welcome.
You will rule this day. Your pathetic village will be claimed in due time. I shall see to it personally.
And he storms off. Rage quit.
What have we to say to each other, Devodiad?
You have little time, Devodiad. Should the horse lords fall to the forces of the White Hand, Saruman would have armies to spare to deal with our refusal of his demands, and I shall have little choice but to swear fealty to Isengard, if he allows me to live at all. Tell your Devodiad friends that they may pass through our lands, but we shall offer them no aid upon their way. So we can finish that. Enough! Begone from my hall, Horbrand. We have other matters to discuss that are not for the ears of the Devodiad. God, that was a lot more talking than I was expecting from that quest.
Yep, it's a long one.
Right, so are these the repeatables?
A couple of them are.
Right.
There's 3 repeatables. One on this one,
So
Signs
we've
Among
got
the Ashes.
one to take us to the Lich Bluffs.
Yeah.
Which is a Vector quest.
There's 2 repeatables on this guy.
So yeah, the Marauders are to defeat Wargs and Half-Orcs, which we've already done. Your bloody bog lurker's in the way.
Right.
There's another Half-Orc repeatable.
And then there's a repeatable on her.
And find equipment on the bosses again. So those 3 are basically the quests we've already done, but if you need to get more reputation with the Owl Grey, you can repeat that.
Or tokens.
Or you need tokens,
Benny
yeah. Free bartering. So I think that does us for Lanark then, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a couple of bits outside. There's a sword we can go get for Nana, which is just outside Lanark.
Yeah, we probably should do that. I think we can jump over the back wall, can't we?
Yeah, you can. Sure, there's a way out the back there.
Yeah, there is. So we just come back to this west. I think it's this hill over here. Well, there's conveniently some Kazakhstan. There we go. We've got Suvuk, who is Nono and Wadu's dad, mourning at his son's grave / burial place or whatever. Can we talk to him?
Nono told me about the mighty Quiber, the one my son killed.
So yeah, he's mourning his son. So if you pick up the sword, don't mind us, we're just nicking your son's sword, it's fine. We were given permission. There's a half-orc boss down there.
Yeah, let me carry ready.
So if we go back in and we speak to Nona then, and we can hand her this sword. She's just in her usual spot in the centre of town.
Thank you for bringing me my brother's sword. I will use it in his memory.
Obvious line is obvious. You have my sword. You have no axe or bow, but you can have this sword.
You can have Wadu's sword. Thank you for bringing me my brother's sword, Horbrand. It was a sword of Rohan, true, but to my eyes it is no longer the weapon of my people's ancient enemies. It is now my brother's sword, the sword with which he slew the mightiest Groiper anyone has seen, and I will use it in his memory. Nona nods sternly and looks around at the huts of the Lanark. I have a request, Horbrand. Go to the leader of your company, the man called Halbrand, who has spoken at length with Gwyn Brennan, and tell him that I will go with your people when they leave Lanark. It is my desire to avenge the death of my brother on the enemies of the Ukluf and on the wizard Saruman, and our road lies together for a little while. Your man Halbrand is in Lanark, is he not? They should just be behind us, I think.
Yep.
Absolutely not. This I must refuse.
What is it? The Ukluf woman has a request? Halbrand listens as you recount Nona's desire to travel with the Grey Company, but his response is quick and unyielding. No, absolutely not. This I must refuse. This is not open for debate. Halbrand shakes his head. So is he rejecting her on racism grounds or sexism grounds, do you reckon? Could be either. Possibly both, who knows. Halbrand shakes his head. But there is something urgent, Holobrand. Radonir found something.
Rodonir found this letter stuck into a nearby tree with a knife.
Radonir found this letter stuck into a nearby tree with a knife, Holobrand. It is addressed to the Rangers, and well, I've left it on that crate there. Read it and tell me what you think it means. And for a quest reward in this one, I'm actually going to get a second age item, which is a level 65. So, if you can't be asked to craft it yourself, they're not bad options. So we'll accept that. And it's just on the crate behind him. To the Rangers, I am a man of Gondor, a friend of the elves and of all good folk. Call me Ergothorn. I see the danger growing in the east and wish to oppose it. Lou Brennan dispatched a messenger from Tur Morva in Dunland, but the messenger was beset by foes outside Lade Ogo in the Lich Bluffs and was dragged within. If he yet lives, he will have information for you. I cannot reveal myself to you, but trust that I am a friend. I will contact you again when it is safe to do so. Ergothorn. So, cryptic message.
Ergothorn, a friend?
Yep.
Why will he not show his face?
So we can actually group up for this one.
It's fellowship, though.
Yeah, but we're going to get inspired greatness, so...
Can you get it for 2 people?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It just won't be as big as if you did it solo, so...
Yeah, that's fine.
Is this Ergothorn a friend? Why will he not show his face? I do not like this Holobrand, and yet if he is telling the truth... We need to know, Holobrand. Gather allies you can trust and go to Lade Ogo, far to the south of here, on the right side of the road through the Lich Bluffs. It may be that a messenger from the south is in trouble, and if so, we could use the information he brings. But keep your eyes open. I will not trust Ergothorn without proof. It may be a trap. It's a trap! So yeah, it's meant for fellowship, but we'll get inspired greatly, so you can do this solo and you'll get a massive buff to your stats, or you can do it in a 2-3 man, whatever, and it'll adjust the buff accordingly.